Hello, my name is Hannah and I'm going to show you the process of making this painting. And I just wanted to tell you a few words about the painting before I start the footage. So the motive is me and one of my closest friends in the forest, leaned up against this birch tree, with the added touch of our skin being distorted and kind of shimmering, or what you will call it. And basically this painting to me represents finding comfort in a friendship that can calm you down when you feel like you are scared of being alive because of feelings like dissociation or just not feeling anchored in reality, and you manage to find a friend that's so kind-hearted and similar to you in certain ways that you just feel like it's okay. And that sounds super cheesy, but that's what this painting is about to me. And the setting being golden hour in one of the forest areas here really close to where I live is also very symbolic to me, because I love being in the forest just in general, and the golden hour just feels like magic. So yeah, this painting to me is a very cozy moment captured that reminds me of just being taken care of when things feel scary, but like accepting that they don't have to stop feeling scary. Things can feel weird and that can be okay. It doesn't have to be something to be scared about. Yeah, so I'm going to show you the time-lapse footage now, and I'm going to keep talking to you in a voiceover about more the technical parts of this process. Yeah, and at the end I made a little video montage of close-ups of the finished paintings, which you see here. Yeah. Okay, so the first thing that I always do is cover the canvas in acrylic paint, and then I paint up the grid, and then I just eyeball my sketch. Then I start marking out the brightest areas with white acrylic paint. I do it with acrylic because it dries so fast that I can just start painting with oils immediately after. The only area that I'm more detailed with when doing this stage is like, well, currently the faces, but like any area that's like super important that I get all the details down. I'm starting to do the oil, the first layer of oil, which is the blocking in layer, which is exactly what it sounds like. You just block in all of the basic shapes and colors. I usually try to stay to the mid-tones, so I avoid the darkest shadows and the brightest highlights, because those usually look a lot better when you build them up with several layers. So the blocking in is just really basic, like a map to build off of. I'm putting down a lot of different shades of green and brown, which might not show up as like that big of variations from each other, but in reality, like it's really important to put down the right shades and values, because if you don't, it's just gonna be a huge mess. And especially in the blocking in layer, you don't want to mess that kind of thing up. Now I'm making all the most vivid shadows for the skin first, and I am more delicate with areas like skin, because like if you make a shadow or highlighted area too gray in the blocking layer, it can be really hard to fix later. So some things you have to be more careful with, because some pigments are easier to build up than others, and I find that like sensitive colors like skin tones can be really easy to mess up, and then you just can't fix it. It's like, and once again, the area that I'm the most detailed with is the faces, because it's very important that they are correct. And I noticed my little pinky finger is dancing a lot. I didn't know that I did that when I paint. Now I know that. Some people have those long sticks with like fabric balls on them to rest their hand on, but I'm just dancing with my pinky finger. I was really excited to paint these faces, this distortion in the skin, because I used to always work without reference photos actually, and I only started using reference photos like a year and a half ago or something. And this painting is the first painting I have made where I use a reference but I divert from it, and I'm very pleased with how that turned out. And also this painting is very special to me in like a technical aspect as well as the emotional aspect. Oh, and when I put down the base layer for the dress, it's very important, like when you paint white, like white fabric or the birch tree that you put down, like you don't put down white ever. It's like either beige or gray or blue, purple, but like just toned down. Everything's just like really light gray with like a slight hint of any other color. Okay, now I'm going on to the second like step, or the second layer, which is like, I don't remember what it's called, but it's the layer after the block-in layer where you just start adding as much detail, both in color, structure, shadows, highlights, everything that you feel that you are capable of in that, at that point. And this part is so much fun, because this is when it actually starts to look cool. Like the blocking layer is usually really ugly, but this part is like, you can already see there's so many more details. It's so much fun. However, still try to not focus too much on the brightest brights or the darkest darks, because there's still a huge chance that you might mess some areas up and have to go back. And I mean, it's in the plan to go back several times, so it's no panic yet. But yeah, usually after this layer I want it to be at least 70% done. Some of the areas that I'm putting down right here are areas that I actually didn't have to revisit, like some of them, because like if you pay enough attention during this step, it should be good. Now I am doing the ferns. That section was so difficult to paint, because I was like, oh my god, like if I mess this up, it's gonna look horrible if I mess this up. Like, I cannot fix this. I have to do this correctly at the first try. And I'm really happy with how that section with the ferns turned out. I basically had to focus the most on the structure of the plants. That was the only thing I was like locked in on. Just the structure and the movement, the direction of the leaves in the plants. Yeah, I sometimes paint upside down. I usually do it a lot more, but for the sake of the video I only did it like 2 or 3 times, and I thought about turning the clips upside down, but then I would be upside down, so I thought that this was better. It's a very good trick to turn your canvas around to switch your perspective, because your eyes get really used to seeing the painting in one way, so that when you flip the canvas, like it's like seeing a completely new thing, basically. I love that feeling. I do it all the time, but I avoided it for this video. But yeah, oh my god, now I'm putting down the pattern on the dress. That took so much time. Oh, now for the second layer on the skin. I feel like the skin, it went so fast to paint the skin areas, and I'm a little bit sad about that, because I was really looking forward to like really getting in there with different shades and stuff, but it just went so easily, which of course is like really good, but I'm gonna have to paint more things like this very soon, because I didn't feel like I got it out of my system really. Actually, with this whole painting, like it only took 5 weeks, which is very fast for me. I do have a full-time job, so to find like time, it can be hard sometimes. So usually like a big painting like this takes me about 12 weeks. And this one only took 5. I think the filming helped to stay more hyper motivated for a longer time, I think. They're still only on the second layer, and so much of it is already like popping. The contrasts are in the right area, and yeah. Adding like blue and pink to my friend's legs. I really love to paint mesh, like tights and stockings. Like, it's such an interesting fabric, the way it like reflects lighting, I think. Okay, now I am getting onto the third layer. Now I am really just refining the shadows and adding more and more texture, more details. I mean, that's all painting really is, right? It's like, okay, I'm adding more. You put down one layer and then you just work from there when it's dry. And that's one thing I think I had a really hard time for when I started watching like oil painting time lapses. I wanted to learn oil. I didn't understand like when the artist was taking a break, because it can be very difficult when you watch like a time lapse like this. So just for like reference, I think this took me 5 weeks, right? And I recorded everything in 50 times speed on my camera, and then I sped it up 300% in the video editing program. So like, I don't know, like maybe 1 minute in this video is like, I don't know, I don't want to say like an hour, but that's maybe a bit much. I don't know math like that. If you know math, you can do the math yourself. No, but seriously, like I take so many breaks. One session can be between like 2 hours to 8 hours, so it's very difficult to know. And also like, I'm wearing the same hoodie the whole video, but it's just because it's my painting hoodie. I probably did like 8 sessions of painting on this or something. That is so, oh, it's so fast. Oh, I love this part where I got to put down the colors on the birch tree, like the blue and the pink and the green tones on the birch tree just make it look so, like, I love birch bark. It's the prettiest trees. I love them so much. This area was surprisingly difficult to paint because it's like, it looks so simple, right? Like when you're in the forest and you're like, oh, there's just like a bunch of texture and dimensions in the mossy, like moss-covered rocks or whatever. But when you paint them, it looked so bad in some stages of this painting. That area to the left, yeah, you see later how I fix that. But I think green is simultaneously one of the most fun colors to paint because like when you get it right, it looks so good. But if you don't, it's like, it just looks like shit. And also I used 1 whole tube of expensive Winsor & Newton yellow paint for this painting. I think they're like $25 or like the 280 crowns or something. But yeah, I used the whole tube and it was so worth it. But especially for all that yellow texture in the top area, in the background. I really love painting with oil paint. I don't know why. I do know why, but I didn't start to paint with oil paints until like a year and a half ago. I think I started to teach myself oil paint at the same time I started practicing using reference photos. I used to only paint with acrylic before that, or I mean, I had a period of painting with only acrylics. But they're so doing a lot of glazing right now. A glaze is a see-through layer of oil paint. I personally mix like a small amount of oil paint with I think that you say that it's like 1/3 paint and 2/3 medium. No, the other way around. Whatever. I mix medium. I use Liquin Original and I mix it with just a bit of oil paint, and then you just like basically just work it in the area you want. You put it down, can let it dry for like 10 minutes while you do something else, and then you just like work it in with your brush. I love glazing. It's like my favorite technique. It gives so much dimension. And now I'm doing all the little grass straws in the foreground. This was so nerve-wracking because I was like, I have to put every grass straw in the right place. It's gonna look insane, but it looked good. I think it works great, actually. Now I got to do some detailing on the skin, but nowhere near as much as I wanted to. I need to make like a whole painting with just like skin mush close-ups or something. Now I'm working more on the blue light reflections in it. My friend's mesh tights to add more dimension to her legs. And I think that made the dimension in my leg pop. So that's the finished painting. I'm very happy with the contrasts and the composition of this painting. It's probably one of the most complex paintings I've made in terms of how many different areas of detail there are in it. Thank you for watching if you watched all of it. I will be making another time lapse the next time I paint, so I'll see you then. Bye!